Alright, and welcome to Mostly Arsenal. I think this is the first video I've done for like 2 weeks. I kind of lost my mojo a little bit. There wasn't really much I wanted to say, and a lot of what I wanted to say was being said by other people, and I didn't want to like go over old ground, repeat what other people had said, and what other people had said probably better than I could. So I kind of dropped out of it a little bit. Um, Yeah, I still feel a little bit out of sorts now, to be honest. Like I say, I lost my mojo a little bit. I kind of got to the point where I thought, um, is what I'm doing, is it relevant? Not is there any point carrying on doing this, but I just felt like I needed a bit of a break from it, I suppose. Um, it's like when I started this, I think I've said before, it's like almost a form of therapy for me, and I wanted it to be like original content. I wanted it to be entertaining, and I wanted it to be thought provoking. And I couldn't think of anything to say. Nothing really interesting had happened, like to me personally, that I thought might be entertaining to others. It may well have been, but I think I've maybe had a bit of a crisis of confidence for a little while. There's a few bits that have been going on, which I won't bore you with, but yeah, I think that probably had a bit of an impact. Also, been suffering with man flu. I was going to do this a couple of days ago, but I felt pretty rough, to be honest. My personal team of physicians have said to me that it's literally the worst case of man flu that they've ever seen. Those weren't their exact words. Their exact words were, "Grab a fucking spine, you useless piece of shit, and just get up and get on with it." But reading between the lines, what I heard them say was, "This is literally the worst case of man flu that has ever been seen since medical records existed." So there you go on that. It has dawned on me that since I started doing this, it's a little bit wishy washy, a little bit almost neither here nor there. And with that in mind, I've decided to start doing this like on a weekly basis, on a set night, at a set time. So from here on in, I'm going to be doing this at 9 p.m. every Sunday night. It may sometimes be pre-recorded like this one is. There'll be some live streams as well. Sometimes live stream will be just me. Sometimes live stream will be with guests. And I'm actually looking forward to that. I was thinking about it a lot today. I just thought it needed to be a little bit more regular, a little bit more uniform regarding when I do it, so people can almost it be a regular thing if people like what I do to actually sit there and watch it as a regular part of their weekly viewing, hopefully, which would be really nice. It's still going to be under the Mostly Arsenal banner, but I'm trying to think of a snappy name um, for it, as it's a Sunday night, and there's a few things I thought of, but um, some of them don't work. Like the first one I was thinking was just the Sunday show, but that's apparently like a BBC thing, and it's like politics and cooking and stuff. Neither of which I know a great deal about, so we'll steer clear of that. The other one was I thought, Sunday service, but Kanye's already locked that down, and also I think most churches in the world do a Sunday service, and I'm almost literally an atheist, so that don't work. And I thought Sunday session, but same, Paul Van Dyke already does that. Sunday surgery, but I'm not a doctor, so that don't work. So I've come up with two potential names. One is Sunday Shenanigans, and the other one is Sunday Shit Show, which personally I'm leaning towards the latter, because as anyone who's seen this before knows, I do swear quite a lot, and I tend to put a disclaimer in the bio that I swear quite a lot, and it's not like I swear just for the sake of it, or I swear just for I want it to be like a angry rant, so I'm going to swear. This is how I tend to talk. Obviously, not around like women or children or people who I know don't like bad language, but when I'm chatting with my mates down the pub or like via WhatsApp or like in general conversations, I do tend to swear a lot. It's just, I don't know. It's just me. Some say it's a sign of intelligence. I would disregard that fact entirely. I know it is. It's just I like to swear to express myself. But what I'm going to do, I'm probably going to ask people for their suggestions. Like I say, at the moment, I'm thinking of running with the Sunday shit show. But if anyone's got any better ideas, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. When this gets dropped on YouTube, I may even run a one of those poll things that you can do on Twitter as well. See if anyone's got anything that they want to say, or any better ideas, or any thoughts on the names that I've already come up with. The format's going to be pretty similar to this, to be honest. But whereas up until this point, I've done mostly, I'll talk about Arsenal first, and then I'll talk about like general life stuff. I might mix it up a bit. I might talk about general life stuff first, chuck some Arsenal in the middle, and some other stuff when I'm doing lives with guests. I'd like to bring other topics into play. Anything that's in the realms of consciousness at any given time, something that might be on people's minds. Maybe even open the forum up to people in the chat or guests to bring anything in they want. Almost anything goes type thing. Not entirely anything goes, because we're not fucking breaking rules here or anything. We're not breaking laws. I don't go to prison. But yeah, I'd like it to be as open as it possibly can be. Anyone that's seen any of my videos before, I do like to talk a lot about injustices, mental health issues, looking at injustices where people are just treated badly. Like mostly on social media, we see it all the time, and I'll go back to that in a little while after I've said a bit about the Arsenal game from the weekend. There's a bit I want to touch on from that point of view. But yeah, anything people want to talk about, just bring it in, and we'll try to open it up. And I'll try again to make it fresh and interesting, thought provoking, as original as it possibly can be. Yeah, jumping into yesterday's game, I'm not going to go in any great depth into tactical analysis or anything like that, because there are so many content creators out there that do it way better than I do, and I find that I kind of switch off to certain things in a game. It's like, for example, when the starting 11 comes out, I think Mikel Arteta's quite clever in the squad that he's trying to build. You look at the first 11, and it could be one of a few different formations, or certain players could be playing in one of a few different positions. I've alluded to this before, and I'm not saying still, even at this point, I'm in or out on him. I'm not glass half full or glass empty. At the moment, I've just got half a cup of water, or half a glass of water, should I say. But I do like the fact that it seems like whenever the first 11 comes out, us as gooners all over Twitter are all talking about it, and I get as nervous about that part of the game as anything else. But I look at it and I think, I don't know what lineup we're going to have, how the team's going to set up, who's going to be playing where, and maybe that's part of his scheme. I don't know. If it is, I think it's pretty clever. But like I say, I switch off when games go on, and I don't even when the team lines up, I'll be looking at it thinking, I don't know if that's 4-4-3, 4-3-4, 4-1-4-1. I don't really know. I'm going to try to concentrate on things that are a little bit more irreverent. Like, I've noticed there are an awful lot of players at the moment that are playing with their socks tucked into their shin pads, like Jack Grealish does, and it's almost like he's becoming almost a bit of an icon, like Bex was back in the day. And I mean, it's one thing like with older gentlemen like myself, like going with the Alice band and all that. Yeah, there's obviously an influence there. I actually a couple of weeks ago, I don't know if I said that on one of these videos or whether I posted it on Twitter, but I normally go with the Alice band, but I had one of those elasticated ones as well, and I put that in. And Dempsey, my 9-year-old, she came up to it. She was like, "Daddy, what are you doing?" I went, "What?" She's like, "You look odd." I said, "What do you mean?" She went, "Your hair, you look like that football bloke." And I went, "What, Jack Grealish?" She went, "Yeah, only if he was really old and really pregnant." But anyway, that's a different story entirely. But I'm noticing, like, I've seen Emil Smith Rowe has been doing it for a little while, probably since pre-season. Now Ainsley Maitland-Niles is doing it as well. And I think before I do next Sunday's show, I'm going to go through all the highlights of all the games from the Premier League this weekend, and I want to see how many players are doing the same. And I'll see if I can do a count for you. But I'm interested to know, because I saw Ainsley Maitland-Niles doing it as well. I was like, right, it's almost like it's becoming a bit of a thing now. So yeah, we'll revisit that next Sunday. Going back to the actual football from yesterday, the first thing I wanted to comment on was the fact that we actually got a decision from VAR and the ref, because when that happened, I thought Aaron Ramsdale was off. And it was only when you're watching the replay, it's like he clearly got the ball first, but I was still half expecting him to get the red, or at least a booking and then get a penalty. But fair game to the ref, fair game to VAR. They called it right. Not Ben White's finest moment by any stretch of the imagination. And I did notice he got a fair amount of stick on social media yesterday, both while the game was going on and when it finished. I don't know what people are expecting of him. I know he's got a huge price tag, but he didn't set the price tag. We all know it's Premier League tax. If he'd come from Italy, Germany, somewhere like that, he probably would have been maybe a £30 million player. But he is quality, and the problem is his heading ability is not the greatest of his qualities, but it doesn't mean he's bad at it. And it wasn't helped after the Brentford game when you've got I never can remember his name, Jamie Carragher and Phil Neville, like calling him out for his heading ability and putting all the pressure in the world on him. And you know that we're only a few games away from Burnley. What do you honestly think Burnley are going to do? Like, they would have been aware of the fact that heading isn't the strongest part of his game. But of course, they're going to stick Chris Wood on him, and they're going to be pumping the ball right on top of him. And old mate's going to be right on his shoulder. And let's be real about it. Like, Chris Wood is a unit, and he's effective in the air against most centre backs. And I don't know if the stat is true or not, but I saw that of 8 aerial challenges, Ben White won 5 of them, which, alright, it's not perfect, but it's pretty decent. And there were times his positional sense was a little bit out. But he was always going to be in for a tough afternoon. He was always going to be the target. And I thought he'd done alright, to be honest. So it's just one of those, like, I mean, he's had COVID as well. So he missed the second and the third games of the season. So he's only 3 games into his Arsenal career. And price tag aside, you know, I like what he's doing. I love the way he moves the ball around. And he moves it a lot quicker than previous centre backs. And you could look at other central defensive pairings where you've had one guy who's the all action, the ball winner, the one who, you know, gets stuck in, gets in the way of things, and one who passes it on to his partner who you know, moves the ball out quickly. Look at England back in the early 2000s, John Terry, Rio Ferdinand. You know, their pivots, they they complement each other, and I think we'll see the same with Gabriel and Ben. It was nice to see the new lad Takahiro Tomiyasu getting stuck in. This lad's going to be a cult hero. I think he already is, to be honest. I loved him from the moment I first saw him in an Arsenal shirt, and he was grinning from ear to ear. He just looked so happy to be part of things, and I was impressed with him against Norwich. I was even more impressed with him yesterday, and I was impressed with the whole defensive unit just as a whole. And then you got Mr. Ramsdale sat behind him. If he's not playing against Spurs next weekend, I'll be asking questions. I know there's been stories that Leno's been promised the North London derby, but there are absolutely no grounds for him to be starting that game. None whatsoever. When Tierney was down, whether he had cramp or not, I'm not really sure. I don't even know who the Burnley player was, but he was trying to get stuck into him, and straight away Aaron Ramsdale's palming him off, and then Gabriel's getting stuck in as well. That's what I want to see. And there was the challenge where Gabriel and Tomiyasu had gone in from either side. I think it was on Wood, can't remember. It might have been Ashley Barnes, but he weren't getting anywhere. And defensively, we were absolutely outstanding yesterday, and I loved it. The only downside was, again, we just didn't create enough. I keep wondering why. Like, we've got the creative players in the middle of the park. It's that final ball, and I'm now starting to think: is it the person who's at the point of our attacking play is not enough being offered? And I don't want this to be a sort of platform where I just come on and like slate players, because I'm not about doing that. But I'm still not seeing anything from Auber. My minimum expectation of these players is that they care as much as I do, and they would put in as much effort as I would if I was on that pitch. That's it. And if you're just having a bad day but you're still trying, I'll still applaud you. But I'm just not seeing the effort from him. And like Pepe as well. It's like, this guy's got so much gold in his toes. It's ridiculous. But for somebody who's got such quick feet and so much pace and so much skill, he's incredibly easy to read. Like, he's almost like he's fullback's dream. You know, you can show him outside, and you know at some point he's going to turn back inside. So you watch the ball and you change your body shape, and even if you're waiting for that ball to move, you're not going to watch his feet, you watch the ball, and you wait for that ball to move. And even though he's really, really quick, if you angle your run and your movement in the correct way, and you shepherd him into other players, it's easy to play against. But there's so many times, like him and Auber, they were obviously our out in the last 20-30 minutes of yesterday's game when we were under the cosh, and they were chucking the kitchen sink at us. They were our out. They had the pace, and at least twice I saw Pepe make the wrong decision, or just like there was one occasion the ball he played to Auber, it was nailed on, but it was such a weak pass, and luckily it didn't come back to haunt us. But yeah, that's about all I want to say on yesterday's game. There was one bit actually, because there was a bit of naughty stuff going on in the crowd after the game, and I saw one picture, and obviously the police were trying their best to intervene and keep everyone separate. But I saw this geezer. I had to zoom in on, because I was like, what's he doing? Because from distance, like, his head was like that. But he's actually stood with his back right up against the Burnley fans, and he's like that, doing a selfie. I just thought, do you know what? I mean, I don't care if people disagree. I was like, it really made me laugh, because I was like, what a lad. He's right in amongst it, in the middle of it all. He's doing a selfie. But yeah, right. Moving on. Anyway, as I said before, I'm a big fan of Cannon Chatter. The three of them are all really good mates of mine, and I'm not saying it because they're mates of mine. They've become good friends since I've got involved. I've guested on there a few times, and I like to jump in the chat box. And that's one of the great things about Cannon Chatter, is they really, really interact with the people in the chat. Like, they really make them feel valued, and I think that's a really, really big deal. I didn't get to watch Monday night's show live, but I watched it back, and I'd seen some tweets. It was really quite an emotional show, and it was to watch it back. And the two main things, and you could see it was just Stephen and Lottie this week. G's recently moved house, so he's had a lot of stuff on. But the first bit was Lottie, the same as lots of other female football fans, especially on Twitter. She gets a lot of stick through social media, but she actually got stick off someone at the game just for having an opinion, and I just thought, fucking why? Why would you do that? Because the person who abused her was a geezer who sat behind her. Chances are he probably wouldn't have been digging another Arsenal fan out for saying something in front of him if it was another bloke. Let's be honest about it. He probably wouldn't have done. But the thing that bothered me, no one around her turned around and told our mate to shut up, as far as I know. So that's the first thing that bothers me. It's like, even if it doesn't matter if it's a female or a male, if someone says something and somebody turns around and has a dig at them just for having an opinion, people got to stand up. You've got to stand up and say, "Oi, don't do that. That's really, really not cool, stars. And we're supposed to be on the same team, for crying out loud. Just don't do it." Sorry, my dog's whining at me at the moment. And the next thing, which Stephen alerted to, it was this, it's almost like this agenda that people that go to games have against people that don't go to games. Now, hang on a minute, I've got to let me dog in 2 secs. Come on. Yeah. There you go. Good girl. Right, back. So people that go to games, digging people that can't go to games out for being less of a fan. I'll hold my hands up. I've never been to a game at the Emirates. Never. Last game I went to was, can't even remember what year it was. It was when Gilles Gamondi scored his only goal. It was against Crystal Palace, and he looked it over his shoulder and it went in the top corner. David Platt was playing. Last time I went to a game. And that's not out of choice. That's down to logistics, family life, and finances. Really as simple as that. You look at the Chelsea game. What was it? 92 quid, cheapest ticket. Now, for me to do that and have bite to eat while I'm down there, transport, whether I drive or go by train, whatever, I'm looking at 200 quid for a day out. I've got a wife and 4 kids. I earn decent money, but I don't earn enough to justify spending more than what? That's like a week and a half's food shopping for me to go and watch a game. It's ridiculous. I can't justify that to my wife. I can't justify that to my kids. But I've been a gooner since 1979. I've said this before. I've never wavered on this. Just because I can't go to the games doesn't mean that I'm any less of a fan. I got offered a 10 quid ticket for the AFC Wimbledon game Wednesday, and that's easily doable. I could have started work early. I could have finished by about 2 o'clock. I could drive down to London. I could watch the game for a tenner. I could drive back. Easily doable. But the thing is, my 11-year-old daughter's just started secondary school, and she's really, really struggling. And we've had, with the help of the school, get certain things put in place to make it easier for her. And we've got her first parent-teacher conference on Wednesday night. So that for me is a no-brainer. I love Arsenal, and I'm as big of a gooner as anyone. I get as angry when we lose. I get as up when we win as anyone that goes to a game. But my kids come first, so that's why I've knocked that ticket back. And if anybody has a problem with that, feel free to come at me for that. But it is what it is. But don't ever say that a fan who doesn't go to the games is any less of a supporter than somebody who's got a season ticket, because that's bollocks. Anyway, on a slightly more jovial note, there's a couple of things happened last week I've got to tell you about. The first one do you? I mean, if you're old enough, you'll remember back in, I suppose it was the 90s when the Italian football used to be on Channel 4, and at the start it'd go Golazzo. Right, up until yesterday, I thought what they were saying was Go Lazio because Gazza had just signed for him. But I didn't realise until I was watching BT Sport yesterday, and as later on I got Golazzo. I was like, oh, it's actually a fucking word. It's an Italian word. I haven't actually had a chance to Google it yet, but presumably it's something to do with football. So yeah, I found that out yesterday, which makes me feel like a bit of a plum. And the other thing, not much interesting's happened to me in the last week, but I was working in Cambridge on Tuesday, and Mother Nature decided to dump literally the biggest load of rain on the city of Cambridge. And I normally work from my car. I do photography, but sometimes I'm on foot. And I thought, I'll just go on foot. It's easier. Cambridge is so busy all the time, and I can literally get to places quicker if I go on foot. I went on foot, and literally, I would have been drier if I'd have just jumped in a river. I was absolutely drenched. Even my pants were wet. T-shirt underneath my waterproof coat wet. Camera fucking took about 2 hours to dry out. It was ridiculous. And I'm walking along this one bit. It's the Hills Road, and my left foot has gone onto the side of this paving slab. Now I didn't realise at the time paving slab's loose. So the paving slab, that's my left foot. That's gone down. Then the other side of the paving slab's come up. Now all the water that's underneath that has sloshed up, and it's gone all over my brand new Superstars, suede ones as well. I know I shouldn't have been wearing them, but they're my new trainers, so I wanted to wear them. And totally fucking destroyed my trainer. So I've just, the only thing I could do, I noticed it, like it's one of those like 2 second delay type things. I was like, oh no, motherfucker. And just as I've said that, this really sweet old lady's walked around the corner. She's got an umbrella up, so she's really, really dry. She goes, oh my. And I did apologise to her. I said, oh, sorry, I've just sloshed this water all over my trainer. She went, yes, I can see that, and walked off. Oh man, maybe I do swear too much. I don't know. But anyway, that's what happened. They're literally the most interesting things that have happened to me this week. So at that point, I'm gonna sign off. Before I go though, I would say, like everyone does, if you like what you see, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Feel free to share it with your friends. That'd be good. I've got I'm not super obsessed with subscribers or anything, but I think I've got 47. It's been stuck on 47 for ages. I'd love to hit 50, and then I'd love to hit like 1 million, just so I can get paid and this could be a job. But yeah, feel free to like, subscribe, and all the rest of it. But yeah, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, have a nice morning, afternoon, or evening. And don't forget, I'll be back next Sunday at 9 o'clock, Greenwich Mean Time, British Standard Time, whatever it's called nowadays. And there's a very, very good chance it might be live. So yeah, could go really, really well or really, really bad. We'll see. Anyway, pretty good. See you next time.